Kiss Radio Show.
Bonjour à toutes et à tous, bienvenue. Vous êtes quelques-uns, mais on ne nous entend pas très fort. Peut-être que les participants vont venir. Le Paris Radio Show débarre aujourd'hui. On a une première intervention avec Vortex dans le XP Lounge Media Lab Factory. So Vortex, what is Vortex?
Nous sommes une société à Angleterre. Nous fabriquons les équipements pour rédaction pour le broadcast depuis 1987.
Ah, okay. So you stay in the innovation of the radio world since many years.
Oui.
And today, I saw your solution. It's just what? It's just one link. You click and you are on air after.
Oui, c'est une solution que nous avons inventée pour les rédacteurs. Mais nous avons une histoire, une story. Et voilà, peut-être tout sera clair.
Okay, so the stage is yours.
Merci beaucoup. Bonjour. Je préfère à parler en anglais, mais nous avons les sous-titres en français pour tout. So, once upon a time. So, let's turn back the clock to 2014. At Vortex, we were tired of listening to poor quality audio, particularly on one of the BBC's flagship news programmes, when contributors would log into the studio with either a normal PSTN telephone or, as we discovered, using consumer apps. In this case, it was FaceTime. There were solutions where guests had to download special software that could then be used for better connections, but they often had to pay for it and then install it and then configure it. The situation was plainly not satisfactory, and we invented CallMe Click Connect, which provides broadcast audio quality for guest contributors without the need for any software download or to have their own codec. It uses WebRTC, and the host, at the time was the BBC, just sends a web link to the guest who clicks on the link and connects with 22 kHz low delay broadcast audio. Of course, journalists soon caught on, and just with a web link, every journalist has their own IP audio codec on their phone. Okay, so we've got to the BBC is sending a web link to their contributors, and the web link is mapped back to their studio codecs. So it doesn't matter what codec it is, but it supports G722, Opus, or SIP, any of those. We then tried to offer this to smaller radio stations as an outside broadcast solution, connecting to their studio codec from a laptop, but they told us they couldn't afford even the cheapest IP codec. We therefore came up with CallMe-T, which is the little box, as a home codec for Click and Connect, as in ET Foam Home. So half the size, half the price. So how is CallMe used? For outside broadcast, for podcasts, for remote guest contributions, reporters on the go. We've got plenty of solutions for broadcast and podcast use. We'll start with our cloud service for guest contributors and reporters. CallMe Click and Connect, which connects their guest via their web browser, the host's hardware codec, and CallMe Direct, where there's no special hardware and the guest browser connects to the host browser. So these are both cloud solutions. Okay, first of all, CallMe Click and Connect. The remote contributor needs only a web browser. They receive a web link from the studio which they click on using a smartphone, tablet or computer. Their device then streams live to hardware or software studio codecs which have been pre-configured as the back-end connection. The result is live, low delay, full broadcast Opus audio. As you can see, the browser, the web browser, what the guest sees, they see the station's own logo. So in this case, BBC News and Swedish Radio. So reporters realised that they had with their mobile phone a portable codec. So we have a dedicated journalist link which adds live play-in of pre-records. So you can see on the screen, you've got the same Click and Connect screen, and you've got two files that can be played in. So reporters drag the files onto their CallMe page, and they can be all reordered by dragging them up and down. The live reporting takes place using the device's microphone and playback of pre-recorded audio files live to the studio. For example, if a petrol station is on fire, the journalist might record on their phone with the manager and with a customer, and then go live to the news and play in those interviews later. Anyway, we'll show you CallMe Click and Connect working a bit later. So we now have a solution which came about because of COVID. COVID had journalists and reporters working from home, and we came up with CallMe Direct, which is a web browser to web browser, so neither the host nor the guests need special hardware or special software. So only web browsers are needed for both host and guests. It is end-to-end encrypted, and live Opus audio is streamed, plus the host can record, but the recordings are done in FLAC, which is lossless audio. And the files are recorded locally, so each guest is recorded on their own device, and in the background is uploaded to the host. So the recorded audio avoids live connectivity issues. So for repeat broadcast, if you have been speaking to a guest and there's been hits and pops and so on, it is clear. It is clear when you come to the clear files. Nothing is stored on an external server. Everything is stored in the host and the guest's browsers, so there are no privacy issues. So we just briefly show you how this works. So this is now going to be a live switch to CallMe Direct. So if anyone here has a mobile phone, what happens is that the host sends the guest a web link, and the web link can be an email message or a text message or a QR code. So if anybody has a QR code as a phone, would like to just try this. We'll set you both up with a link. Okay, so the guest is now live online, as you can see. We do another one, guest 2. Okay, the guests can be added by the host to the mixer, so coming out of the sound card of the host computer is the mix of the connection. So we've now got 2 guests and a host. So if you speak, you will go live on air. So this could be 2 guests connected to the studio going live on air. Now the host can say, is it okay to record for enregistrer? And push record, and your browsers will show you are being recorded. So your audio is being recorded on your device, yours on yours, and the host on the host device. And in the background, the files are being uploaded. So at the end of the session, there's a host, guest 1 and guest 2 audio, and they can be saved. And those files are in FLAC format. Okay, so this is a podcasting tool, and this is a service, and this costs €30 per month, and you can use it as often as you like, and it's used for broadcast and for podcasting.
There you go.
Okay, so here's a cheeky example. CallMe Direct X was used by a Brazilian customer to cover the entire Pantines folklore festival. C'est un festival de musique au beau milieu de Amazon. And they were going to use a tie line codec, but in the end they used 5 mobile phones separately connected as the microphones for the for the live acts. So they transmitted live, and then they had the whole lot recorded using CallMe Direct. So they did the whole of the music festival, like Glastonbury, for €30. So, CallMe Direct. These are the things I've already told you. Is web browser to web browser with no special hardware or software. Only web browsers are needed for hosts and guests. Live Opus audio is in FLAC. Files are recorded locally with background and uploaded to the host. I've told you all of this. On again.
I think we went the wrong way.
On again.
This is going backwards.
Okay.
This is the next one.
Okay, so now we go to our studio codecs. And our studio codecs are CallMe-T, which is the little box, and the Windows service, which is a multi-version of CallMe-T that runs on a Windows server. So we explained the name CallMe-T, which is a little box where 4 can be mounted side by side in a 1U rack. All of our hardware codecs have industry standard RFC 7198 dual streaming for resilience. So CallMe-T has on the front panel 8 quick dial destinations, balanced analog audio, USB audio, which means you can plug in a USB headset, mixer or sound card, or AAS digital audio, including Dante, using a USB adapter. CallMe-T also has Smart Stream, which is multi-destination with audio channel routing, which means the little box can be routed to 2 destinations, so it is a dual mono codec at the same time. And the coding algorithms are Opus, G722, G711, and it's Icecast and Shoutcast compatible for internet radio. So this little box does a hell of a lot. Okay, the web interface, this shows a current connection with SIP dual streaming. So you can see this is one destination with streaming probably over a cabled internet connection and a Wi-Fi internet connection. And it shows you the status with the bitrate and the jitter and the packet loss. Next one. And this is how you set up the quick dials. And as you can see, you can set up the quick dials at 64 kilobits, 32 kilobits, up to 510 kilobits per second. The next one. And there it is connected to 2 destinations at the same time in mono. So the left channel is going to the first destination, Ealing, and the right channel is going to the SIP user. So we've got this now as working as a dual mono codec. Okay, so the CallMe-TX is our Windows service. It's like having lots of CallMe-Ts but running on a Windows computer. So it provides multi-CallMe-T capability, expandable up from, okay, it comes with 5 instances and it can be expanded to an unlimited number. It runs as a Windows service. It interfaces to hardware and virtual sound cards. So one server can support maybe 16 codecs with Dante virtual sound cards, which makes it an ideal ingest for program, broadcast audio, talkback, and VoIP. Next one. Oh, sorry, this is the screen. They all look the same. The screens look the same. So there's codec 1 and codec 2 of the bunch of 5, and you'll see the Dante routing on the right-hand side. Okay. So this is a summing up of that. And now we come to the exciting part. We kept the best for last. We've got. So this is our first integration of our CallMe-T into someone else's product. And this came about because there's a company called Glensound, and they have manufactured more than 10,000 ISDN codecs. And what we have done is squeezed into it a CallMe-T board and it now switches between ISDN, RSNI, je crois en français, and IP. And it has a 7-hour battery and a Wi-Fi connection. And you can buy these on eBay for 200, 300 euros, which makes a very affordable outside broadcast codec. It's fully compatible with other people's, and it does the SIP dual streaming. And the BBC have bought hundreds of them because they had 5,000, and they've been buying them by the 100 because it saves their green credentials. It means that instead of throwing them away, they can reuse them, and they're reusing them without any extra training and so on. But that's only really English countries where Glen Sound was successful. And we're getting calls from all over the place, especially the USA, to integrate CallMe into a Rodecaster, which you see in front of you. So the Rodecaster is a very low cost, very cost effective, very full featured audio mixer. It's used for podcasting and for broadcasting, and has been commonly used with another codec, for example the CallMe-T, plugged into it with the audio in and out. So it's a software. So what we have is CallMe-RC Rodecaster. It's a software-only add-on for Rodecaster, Pro 2 and Duo, gives them external connectivity, and there are thousands in use, and they're progressively more used as a cost-effective solution for outside broadcast. So we add CallMe-T without interfering with the Rodecaster. So the way we upgrade it is we plug a computer in, we take the Rodecaster software out, we add CallMe-T capability, and we put it back again. So we'll show you the CallMe-T, CallMe-RC capability live now. So if you go to so these are the screens. This is the Rodecaster screen, and when you switch to CallMe mode, you see the quick dial buttons, the same quick dial buttons that we had on the box. And you see a keyboard where you can enter information into the codec. Okay, Judith.
Come a little bit closer. We have one on the table, so you can see.
So if you come here closer, you can see perhaps look and see us working with the Rodecaster. So we're now browsing to the Rodecaster. So you can control it remotely. Or you can also of course use the quick dial buttons, which I'll do now. So I just can quick dial.
Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, drink. You should do fish oil and apple cider vinegar." No, I'm just absolutely knackered. It's as simple as that. I'm broken. Hello, knee replacement incoming. We'll see what happens. I'll try some of your ideas and suggestions on 88291. Thank you very much for them.
Okay, so what you see there is the inbuilt codec, and that has been mapped to a USB, so we can map that onto one of the faders. So this then becomes a complete outside broadcast codec. You can buy a battery from Amazon, which will run it for 7 hours. The Rodecaster itself has Ethernet connectivity, and it has Wi-Fi built in. You can also add a USB 4G dongle to it, so you end up with 3 methods of connecting. And as you can see, we browsed to it as before, the same as the CallMe. But we have another little trick now, because this is a codec, an audio codec. If one of you would like to scan this QR code, so imagine that you are making a podcast and you want to invite a guest, maybe from Australia. How are you going to introduce the guest from Australia? So if someone would like to scan the QR code, Yes.
Here in France, Paris.
Oh.
Online with Vortex and this world, Vortex.
So this is a way. So this is a way of adding remote guests. As you can see, Seb in Paris and CallMe. So you can add remote guests to a Rodecaster. So you can be at a sports ground, as we will show you in a second, a sports ground. This is Stadio Olimpico in Rome, so I think it's Lazio or Roma, one of the two. So you could be at a sports ground, covering it with a commentator, with a guest, and also a remote guest. So you've got the to and fro from the studio, as well as the possibility of adding guests in. So that's it. That's our outside broadcast solution, and really that's the story of how we've moved. We've moved forward. Are you connected?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, yes, c'est moi.
So these are the CallMe solutions that we've got, and basically they've all come about because broadcasters have asked us to make them. So anyway, apologies for the poor French and the poor use of PowerPoint. Are there any questions? Anyone like to ask anything or try anything? We have a stand upstairs, so if anyone would like to come and have a closer look, we'd be very pleased to come and see you and talk to you.
Yeah. Anyone has a question about it? It's very simple. I was working in French television, and I know a British solution called Quick Link. It's for video. It's like you just one click and you are online in the live or the regie. It's great.
We have customers right around the world using this, and we're working with Rode, as you can see, to get this as a really good, integrated, cost-effective solution, especially for the smaller broadcasters and the podcasters.
Okay. Great, thank you. The visitor can go upstairs in the loft. That's right, on your stand
loft,
to
yes.
experiment the solution themselves.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep, please
Great.
do.
So thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Paris Radio Show.